Welcome back, my friends. Today we learned that Congress passed a large spending package. That includes a bill banning TikTok from being used on government devices. The package also includes new filing fees for mergers. That includes a bill requiring online platforms to detect counterfeits by vetting sellers. Congress failed to pass many of the most aggressive bills. That includes antitrust legislation opposed by the industry. As you have probably noticed, the world of social media companies is changing. Inflation is raging practically everywhere in the world. Central banks in most countries are aggressively raising interest rates to fight inflation. As a result, the macroeconomic environment is weakening. Consumers are pulling back on their discretionary spending. Corporate marketers are cutting back on advertising spending. Now, we hear word from Washington, D.C. that the U.S. government is considering banning TikTok. As you probably know, TikTok is a privately held company that is headquartered in China. And it has become incredibly popular, basically stealing a lot of market share from Meta, Snap, and even Google. These companies would love for TikTok to be banned in the United States. So would Twitter, for that matter. The United States government could see TikTok as being geopolitically threatening. So, what would this mean for TikTok? What would it mean for Meta, Snap, and Google? What does it mean for other big tech companies? What does it mean for the economy? And, what does it mean for the future of the United States? But, before we get into all of that, please press the like button and leave us a comment below. We would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos when they are released. Congress passed a bipartisan spending bill on Friday. As a result of the bill, TikTok will be banned from government devices. U.S. officials are concerned about the popular video sharing app owned by China's ByteDance. Congress wants e-commerce platforms to do more vetting. In theory, this would help deter counterfeit goods from being sold online. The bill also forces companies to pursue large mergers. And that would help to pay more to file with federal antitrust agencies. Congress failed to pass the most aggressive bills targeting big technology companies. That includes antitrust legislation targeting app stores developed by Apple and Google. The new rules would give developers more payment options. The rules would also mandate new guardrails to protect kids online. Congress made more headway this year than in the past years, especially in the area of a compromise bill on national privacy standards. As things stand right now, there is only a patchwork of state laws. These state laws focus on determining how consumer data is protected. Center-left tech industry groups want the exclusion of several antitrust bills. Some bills are targeting Apple, Amazon, Google, and Meta. A prominent industry group, NetChoice, applauded congressional efforts. NetChoice wanted Congress to refuse to include radical and unchecked progressive proposals. They are seeking to overhaul American antitrust laws. TikTok is being banned on government devices in some states. The bill could benefit rival platforms like Snap and Meta's Facebook and Instagram, said NetChoice. Congress seems to want to fight for young consumers' attention. The bill includes an exception for law enforcement. Why does that not surprise me? NetChoice seems to focus on national security and research purposes. We fear that TikTok's ownership structure could make U.S. user data vulnerable, said FBI Director Christopher Wray. Chinese companies may be required by law to hand over user information to the U.S. government. TikTok has repeatedly said its user data from the United States is not going to China. Those assurances have done little to alleviate congressional concern. TikTok has been working toward a deal with the Biden administration. They are aiming to assuage national security fears through the Committee on Foreign Investment. The spending package also includes provisions to deter counterfeit, stolen or harmful products from being sold online. The bill requires online marketplaces like Amazon to promptly collect information like bank and contact details, and to verify that data from any high-volume third-party seller. Amazon initially opposed the bill last year, but it was pushed by some big box retailers. Amazon claims it would punish small businesses that sell online. They said it was important to have a federal standard rather than a patchwork of state laws. Etsy and eBay support the bill. The new Merger Filing Fee Modernization Act will raise the fees for companies pursuing large mergers must pay to file with the antitrust agencies. The bill also lowers the cost for smaller deals. It also allows the fees to be adjusted each year based on the Consumer Price Index. The measure designed to fund the Federal Trade Commission and Department of Justice Antitrust Division. There has been a surge in merger filings over the past few years without adequate budget increases. This is a major milestone for the anti-monopoly movement, said Sarah Miller, executive director of the American Economic Liberties Project. The bill is an important step to restructure merger fees after decades of the status quo so we can provide our antitrust enforcers with the resources they need to do their jobs, said Senator Amy Klobuchar. This is clearly the beginning of this fight and not the end, Klobuchar said. I will continue to work across the aisle to protect consumers and strengthen competition, Klobuchar continued. There is also the State Antitrust Enforcement Venue Act. Klobuchar's bill gives state attorneys general the same power as federal enforcers. It also includes provisions for antitrust cases to consolidate it in a particular district. Last year, attorneys general from 52 states and territories specifically requested the legislation. The Bipartisan Ransomware Act was also included in the spending bill. It requires the FTC to report to Congress on the number and types of foreign ransomware. Individuals, companies or governments of foreign adversaries like China, North Korea, Iran and Russia are targeted. The Department of Health and Human Services is funded to conduct or support research on the effects of media and technology, including the impact on cognitive health, mental health, and physical health. The research includes a range of technologies: social media, artificial intelligence, video games, and virtual reality. The National Institutes of Health must deliver a report to Congress. But that is 2 years of the law's enactment. Shares of many large U.S. social media companies spiked on this stunning news. That includes shares of Meta and Snap. The U.S. government should ban TikTok, said the U.S. Federal Communications Commissioner. The Committee on Foreign Investment in the U.S., CFI-US, is also reviewing TikTok. The review is focusing on TikTok's potential national security implications. As you probably already know, TikTok is owned by a Chinese company named ByteDance. The United States Department of Justice is taking the lead in negotiations over a national security deal. Both Republicans and Democrats have concerns over TikTok's potential national security risks. In fact, both the Donald Trump and Joe Biden administrations have expressed concerns about TikTok. And both administrations have reviewed the TikTok's relationship with the Chinese government. TikTok has repeatedly maintained that it stores data from U.S. users outside of China. But that might not be strong enough to satisfy U.S. regulatory agencies. TikTok says that it would not have to turn over that information to the government. Still, U.S. regulatory officials remain skeptical. And, if you follow this channel, you probably already know that tech companies are sensing weak macroeconomic conditions. It is fair to say that Q2 earnings were weak or weakening in most companies, aside from oil companies. A lot of problems in big tech are being blamed on TikTok these days. Inflation is raging in most parts of the world. Central banks are aggressively raising interest rates in order to tame inflation. Consumers' budgets are getting tighter because of having to spend more on gas and food. So, consumer discretionary spending is weakening. Corporate marketers are cutting their ad budgets, especially online. And ad revenue is the lifeblood of many big tech companies. You probably all remember from the round of Q3 earnings announcements. Google and Meta platforms reported decidedly disappointing Q3 earnings. Meta has posted shrinking revenue for 2 quarters and maybe a third quarter as well. Snap has publicly announced layoffs of 20% of its employees. This comes after Snap grew its headcount by 65% within the past year and a half. Google, Meta, and Snap are probably the most notable of the companies reducing headcount. But there are many others. This year, it is clear that Wall Street analysts are valuing profitability over prospective growth. As a result, unprofitable tech companies' shares are getting punished. It seems that the day of reckoning for tech unicorns has arrived. And all companies are forced to either be profitable, find a merge partner, or die. The window for initial public offerings is effectively closed. That is why some Wall Street investment bankers are predicting a wave of tech mergers later this year. But, what do you think? Please leave us a comment below and hit the like button. We would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos when they are released. Please share this video on social media. Thank you for watching.